His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received at Safaria Palace the UAE Minister of State for Foreign Trade, Dr. Thani bin Ahmed Ziyudi, upon his arrival to the kingdom to participate in the Bahrain UAE Business Forum. The minister conveyed the greetings and appreciation of the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and their wishes of continued progress and prosperity to the people of Bahrain. His Majesty the King welcomed the minister and asked him to convey his greetings to the UAE President and the UAE Vice President, and his wishes of further progress and prosperity to the UAE and its people. His Majesty hailed the brotherly and close historic ties between the two countries and the continuous keenness to enhance them, as well as the development of cooperation at all levels. His Majesty noted holding the Bahrain UAE Business Forum, praising its result that continue to develop partnerships, strengthen cooperation and constructive joint work, especially in the economic, commercial and investment aspects, and working to increase the volume of trade exchange to meet the aspirations of the two countries and peoples and achieve their mutual interests. For his part, Minister Ziyudi expressed thanks and appreciation to His Majesty and pride in His Majesty's role in consolidating bilateral ties and developing cooperation at all levels, especially in the commercial, economic and investment sectors. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and Chairman of Babco Energies, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, attended the signing ceremony of 3 cooperation agreements between the Arab Shipbuilding and Repair Company ASRI and Abu Dhabi Ports Group to expand cooperation in a number of vital maritime fields. On the occasion, His Highness affirmed that signing the agreements represents a qualitative leap in the path of Gulf cooperation and strengthens Bahrain's position as a regional Center for Sustainable Maritime Industries and Services and supports efforts to shift towards a circular economy. His Highness noted that investing in quality partnerships is the cornerstone of the kingdom's competitiveness in vital sectors such as maritime industries and logistics, adding that these agreements embody an effective model of integration between Gulf competencies and international expertise and open wide horizons for growth, especially in the fields of dry dock management, shipbuilding and marine recycling in environmentally responsible ways. The first agreement includes the establishment of a joint company to manage dry dock and shipyard facilities to utilize each party's capabilities within the scope of its current operations in the sector. The second agreement will explore opportunities for cooperation in the field of port management and operation. The two sides also signed an additional agreement with a third party represented by the leading maritime port logistics and technology company J.M. Baxi. The agreement focuses on the establishment and development of ship recycling facilities in sustainable and environmentally friendly ways to promote a circular economy by reusing ship parts and components and minimizing waste. Following the successful establishment of the joint venture with ASRI, AD Ports Group Captain Mohammed Al-Shamsi expressed aspiration to further strengthen cooperation and presence in the shipbuilding and dry docking industries. For his part, CEO of ASRI, Dr. Ahmed Al-Abri, expressed pride in strengthening and expanding the company's strategic partnership with AD Ports Group, noting that the agreements aim to enhance the company's capabilities in the field of dry docks and shipbuilding in the GCC and beyond, and develop capabilities in the field of green ship recycling. The Minister of the Prime Minister's Court, His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, visited the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education. His Highness was briefed on key health and education projects under the Government Priorities Framework, which contributes to the government's ongoing efforts to enhance the quality of services for Bahraini citizens in line with the forward-looking visions of His Majesty the King and the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. This comes as part of the ongoing follow-up of the Government Priorities Framework 4.0, which was approved by the Cabinet and is overseen by the Government Executive Committee, chaired by His Royal Highness. His Highness underscored the importance of advancing government programs guided by clear mechanisms and rigorous follow-up processes. This approach supports improved performance, efficiency and quality of services delivered to citizens in line with the Kingdom's comprehensive and sustainable progress that places citizens at the core of all development goals. His Highness emphasized the importance of closely monitoring projects across the health and education sectors to ensure their implementation aligns with the needs of citizens and promotes the development of vital sectors that directly impact Bahraini citizens. For their part, the Minister of Health and the Minister of Education reaffirmed their commitment to advancing the far-reaching visions of His Majesty and the directives of His Royal Highness to meet the needs of Bahraini citizens. They expressed their gratitude and appreciation to His Highness for his visit to the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education and for his steadfast support in driving forward the Kingdom's wide-ranging development goals. The fourth edition of the Government Priorities Framework embodies a strategic approach to aligning national efforts and resources with initiatives that place Bahraini citizens at the heart of development efforts. These programs play a critical role in driving sustainable growth and prosperity in line with the objectives of the Kingdom's comprehensive development, led by His Majesty and supported by His Royal Highness. The Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Hamad bin Faisal Al Malki, and several senior officials were also present. The chairman of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Sheikh Abdulrahman bin Muhammad bin Rashid Al Khalifa, received the Secretary General of the Muslim Council of Elders, Councillor Muhammad Abdus Salam. The meeting discussed the ongoing efforts to promote dialogue, understanding and coexistence within the Islamic world, highlighting the significant role of the Muslim Council of Elders in organizing and participating in the Intra-Islamic Dialogue Conference, which was held in Manama in February. During the discussions, Sheikh Abdulrahman bin Muhammad commended the conference's notable achievements, emphasizing that it reflected the spirit of Islamic unity and contributed to strengthening the principles of mutual understanding and peaceful coexistence. For his part, Councillor Abdus Salam conveyed the greetings and appreciation of His Eminence the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Professor Dr. Ahmad Al-Tayyib, to the leadership and people of Bahrain for their outstanding efforts in hosting the conference and their ongoing dedication to fostering dialogue and Islamic unity. The meeting also discussed a number of topics of common interest. The Minister of Interior and Chairman of the Civil Defense Council, General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, chaired the Council's meeting with the attendance of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Finance and National Economy, Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture, Oil and Environment, Electricity and Water Affairs, Health, Housing and Urban Planning, Information and the Chief of Public Security. The Minister of Interior noted that the meeting is part of the efforts to enhance civil protection and public safety measures. The Council began the agenda with a brief overview of the comprehensive measures for preparing for potential regional threat scenarios, along with the roles of government entities and the strategic axes related to raising levels of emergency response, national readiness, and enhancing integration between the concerned sectors. The plan for responding to radiological emergencies was also discussed to ensure public safety. The joint exercises that were concluded in coordination with the relevant authorities were also reviewed with the aim of developing joint work in the field of civil protection with the goal of enhancing national readiness for public safety. The Council addressed the National Framework for Wireless Alerts as a strategic reference that organizes the unified broadcasting mechanisms for warning messages across various digital and traditional platforms. This framework was prepared according to the best international practices to serve as a fundamental pillar in the national warning system and to strengthen community response. The Council reviewed national threat response plans, developing the technological infrastructure for early warning systems and mass communication during emergencies, enhancing the readiness of shelter centers and improving the efficiency of human resources, as well as supporting sustainability initiatives in civil defense. The Minister of Interior emphasized the importance of continuing to adopt a proactive approach to enhance national readiness and capabilities in emergency response and to develop detailed plans that define roles and responsibilities. He pointed out that the next phase requires the development of mechanisms for periodic risk assessment and the expansion of joint exercises at the level of ministries and relevant authorities. He also noted the importance of developing early warning systems and ensuring that alerts reach all segments of society within the framework of comprehensive community awareness programs and the continued development of the National Civil Protection Platform to provide updated data on risks and facilitate the exchange of information. The Minister expressed his gratitude and appreciation to the Council members for their role in developing cooperation and coordination mechanisms aimed at enhancing civil protection preventive measures, assessing the level of readiness to face potential risks, and increasing safety rates for all citizens and residents. The Minister of Industry and Commerce, Abdullah Fakhru, received UAE Minister of State for Foreign Trade, Dr. Thani bin Ahmed Ziyudi, as part of his official visit to the Kingdom of Bahrain. During the meeting, Minister Fakhru stressed the depth of the historic fraternal relations between Bahrain and the UAE and the advanced levels they have reached at various levels under the patronage and attention of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The Minister also pointed out the importance of continuing to broaden horizons of bilateral relations for further integration and joint action in various fields, especially in the field of trade, for the benefit of the two countries and their peoples. For his part, Dr. Ziyudi expressed his pride in the deep historical relations between the two brotherly countries and their continuous development at all levels, stressing UAE's keenness to continue enhancing cooperation with Bahrain in various economic and commercial fields. Meanwhile, the two ministers visited the recently inaugurated UAE Investor Center, noting that the UAE's investments in the kingdom contribute in advancing economic cooperation and promoting joint trade for investors between the two brotherly countries in light of the continuous directives to strengthen economic interdependence at all levels. They also participated in the workshop entitled Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreements, organized by the negotiating team of the UAE, where the two ministers reviewed UAE's pioneering experience in the presence of the Bahraini negotiating team and a number of senior officials and stakeholders. The Minister of Social Development, Osama Al-Alawi, participated in the 18th session of the Conference of States Parties to the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. In his address, Minister Al-Alawi emphasized that Bahrain places the empowerment of persons with disabilities at the center of its development priorities, stressing the Kingdom's commitment to continuing initiatives that expand opportunities and promote the full inclusion of persons with disabilities. The Minister highlighted Bahrain's hosting of the 44th session of the Council of Arab Ministers of Social Affairs, underscoring the Kingdom's support for the Council's efforts and its pivotal role in advancing the rights of persons with disabilities within the Arab framework. On the sidelines of the conference, the Minister held meetings with Kuwait's Minister of Social Affairs, Family and Childhood Affairs, Dr. Amthal Al-Huwaila, where they reviewed bilateral relations and addressed the exchange of expertise in supporting and empowering persons with disabilities. The Minister also held meetings with the UN Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Dr. Hiba Hagras, and the Assistant Secretary General for Policy Coordination at the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Bjorg Sandkjær, to discuss strengthening coordination between the United Nations and the Council of Arab Ministers of Social Affairs. The Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Women, Lulwa El-Awadi, affirmed that the UN Economic and Social Council's election of Bahrain as a member of the Executive Board of UN Women for the 2026-2028 term reflects the Kingdom's prominent role at the international level in various women's affairs. She noted that this achievement is a result of the efforts of Her Royal Highness, the wife of His Majesty the King and President of the SCW, Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, and reflects Her Royal Highness's unlimited support for national efforts to empower Bahraini women. More in this report.
Due to its series of achievements in advancing Bahraini women, the Kingdom of Bahrain has become a member in the Executive Board of UN Women for the 2026 to 2028 term, which is the second time the Kingdom has won following its previous membership in the 2017-2019 term. This confirms the excellence of the Bahraini model in supporting women and the continued international recognition of Bahrain's tireless and pioneering efforts in empowering women and enhancing their status at the regional and global levels. The Kingdom of Bahrain's membership in the Executive Board of UN Women coincides with the launch of the third edition of the Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa Global Award for Women's Empowerment, in cooperation with the United Nations, which is one of the initiatives presented by Bahrain through the Supreme Council for Women in various fields for empowering and advancing women in accordance with the best international mechanisms and practices. During its membership period, the Kingdom of Bahrain will work to support the efforts of UN Women and actively contribute to formulating global policies and strategies in empowering women, developing and building their capacities, enhancing their contributions to building societies in the future, achieving sustainable development goals, promoting their empowerment in technology and modern science, and supporting their progress in various work sites, in line with Bahrain's firm approach towards establishing the principles of equality and equal opportunities.
The delegation of the Parliamentary Division of Bahrain, headed by MP Ahmed Al-Salloum, participated in the coordination meeting of Gulf delegations as part of the preparations for the Standing Committee on Political Affairs of the Asian Parliamentary Assembly, which is scheduled to be held in Iran. The delegation pointed out the importance of communicating the vision of GCC countries towards all the issues raised, especially those related to the rule of law, best parliamentary practices, harmonious development through democracy, in addition to supporting the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people and strengthening regional and international parliamentary coordination in this regard. After performing this year's Hajj, Bahrain International Airport continues to receive large numbers of Bahraini pilgrims returning from the holy sites, amid scenes of joy and longing experienced by the pilgrims and their families. The news center's camera was present to document these moments. The scenes of the reception of the return of the pilgrims varied, with a mixture of deep joy and indescribable spiritual longing, praising Allah Almighty for their safe arrival to the homeland and to accept their good deeds.